first episode on Goals Win Games podcast. Obviously, we have Chairman. Big up yourself, bro. Go on.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, my name's Sherman. I'm from Northwest London, Arsenal fan. Uh, it's been a very, very long season, and it's only December, but gotta stick behind the boys. And what else about me? I'm Nigerian, so last year was very painful as well as an Arsenal fan and a Nigerian, but we pray to God for better days. And yeah,
Man, amen.
We've got Olu, who runs also the Nigeria Weekly Football Podcast. You just put out a video on Ademola winning the CAF
African
Player of
Footballer
the
of the
Year, bro.
Year.
I loved it. I was watching it. Yeah, I saw halfway through, but please introduce yourself. That's a brilliant video. Introduce yourself, sir.
Yeah, same. I'm Olu. I run a podcast called Nigeria Football Weekly. You can find us on YouTube or all the social media channels. Nigeria Football Weekly everywhere except Twitter. NFWPOD. I am also an Arsenal fan. It's for how long now? 24 years out of my 31 years on earth. I'm Nigerian clearly, and I'm currently in Nigeria, hence the attire, because you have to stay cool. But yeah, um, that's football mad junkie. I would say I don't just watch Arsenal. I'm quite big on um, all the leagues, so to speak. But I do have a specific passion also for highlighting Nigerian footballers all over Europe and wherever they're playing in certain parts of Africa. But to be honest, I focus on the top 10 leagues in Europe. So yeah, that's me.
Right, dope. So let's get today cracking. First things first, let's speak about the Arsenal Palace game that just happened. How do you guys feel about it? Chairman, if you want to start, like, how do you guys feel about how that game went? And obviously, Eddie Nketiah scoring as well.
so I was actually at the match, and before I went in, we were already 1-0 down, 1-0 down, and I just didn't understand it. My problem with that game is it shows that we have the capability to play our striker in the striker position. Because there are parts of the game where Jesus will be on the wing or he'll be receiving the ball from left back. And even at one point, Teeny was down the middle. And my biggest frustration, along with so many people that were around me, was saying that if our striker just plays in the nine, he's going to get opportunities. And what did we see? When Jesus was up front, Odegaard played him in, Saka played him in, and he scores. For the neutrals, an amazing game. For us, it was very stressful. Obviously,
Mm.
happy for Nketiah, annoyed that he scored against us because don't really want former players scoring. But I guess that will be a nice moment for him. And hopefully we can, I guess Jesus has to start against Palace today, but we'll see what Mikel wants because I can just imagine Havertz going down the middle and then Trossard starting. But it is what it is. Hopefully he starts Jesus.
Oli, what do you have to say to that?
Yeah, similar sentiments. I echo very similar sentiments. I mean, Arsenal's kind of like the kid that is capable of doing something, but maybe they're just not pushing themselves as much. We've seen the evidence over the past 2.5 years of, the clear progression. I like to joke that Arsenal's almost the opposite of Johnny Bravo. Like, big in defense, and then, up top, we're seeing a few. But we have to caveat that because whether we like it or not, the goal record from last year speaks for itself. Even though we've been complaining about performances recently, Champions League 3-0, the 5 goals against West Ham was only what 3 weeks ago, I think. So,
Yep.
managing expectations and just trying to make sure that the team plays to his strengths is, I think, what is the key thing. And I think echoes what Chairman was saying. Looking at a striker that actually wants to be a striker and wants to play off the shoulder and really be in the box to score. Even Jesus has had problems in doing that because I've never seen a striker who likes to roam like that guy. So I think for the Crystal Palace game, like it was nice to see him just focus and get his confidence back because even though obviously I still want us to cut ties with him in June, we still know there's a player in there. And seeing what confidence can do to a player, after every finish, you could see the confidence grow. The way he took his finishes, confidence was just brimming. So that was good to see. You know, I also I don't like this Arsenal thing of conceding first sometimes. It's very stressful. I agree with Chairman. It's like it doesn't have to happen. We have a very good defense. We know the kind of XG we concede is very, very low at most times. But I mean, that Mateta goal, like Kirio, no offense, but like, brother, this is your last season at Arsenal, I hope, because he just doesn't have the,
He doesn't
should I
have it.
say, physical strength to perform in the Prem. Like, it just looks a bit. I mean, he just got bullied. And I'm watching it. Let's be honest. We kind of knew Mateta was going to do that to him. I just watch it unfold. They're like, oh yeah, I'm telling you, you literally could
Bro,
see it from a
Mateta
mile
was
away.
moving in slow motion.
Yeah, but you could tell that just Mateta's physique was going to bully Kiwi off the park. So that was very annoying. It was interesting to see certain tactical nuances, like with the set pieces of Crystal Palace putting three players upfield, like Monaco did last week. But I dare them to do it when Gabriel's on the pitch. We'll see what happens there.
Mm.
If you like, put three defenders up front. Big Gabby's going to be there, so let's see if he plays today. But ultimately, I think we want Jesus to play and let's see the confidence come back because anything but 3 points would be very annoying.
So how do you guys feel though? Like with this whole Gabby thing, like as a footballer, he's very techy, right? And he's probably more he is technically gifted, like more technically gifted than like a Sterling, right? So how do you guys feel about maybe because with him, how many seasons will a coach have a player go through injury and then you sort of get his confidence back up, but then you're chasing the season. He ends the season on a high with like 8 goals in 4 games. Then the summer comes, he gets injured, you miss half the season again. How long can that happen? And if that carries on, is an option to either let Martinelli go and he plays on the wing because towards Gabby's end at Man City, remember he was literally playing on the wing. So do you play him on the wing or you play him on the other side when Sterling goes and have him on the right and then get a centre forward? Or are you saying that you both feel like you just want to cut ties with him in general?
I'm tired of Arsenal experiments, bro.
Oh, we
Look,
don't have time. We don't have
I
time.
this team got 84 points, 89 points. All this shoehorning. Look, bro, we've all been in jobs where we thought, I'm all right at this job, but it's not quite the right fit. You've dated people where you're like, oh, it's all right, but it's not quite the right fit. Stop this thing with football. I'm telling you, this thing. Look, Arsenal have drawn or lost half our Premier League games for a reason this season because the progression that should be taken all of a sudden the manager is just taking the piss. We don't know what happened with Edu and all of that, but everybody mentioned they briefed all the athletic journalists. Arsenal and the market for a striker. Oh, they're looking for a left winger. Then they spend half the summer talking about Nico Williams, who, by the way, has one La Liga goal this season. I must mention, you know, and then say, oh, they want to get Sesko. Sesko's not even the big boy at Leipzig. It's Openda. I go and look at Leipzig's performance in the Champions League, please. Don't bring that Slovenian in my club. Look, go and buy gunmen. I'm tired of this rubbish. Jesus, God bless you. Do a job this year. Sayonara. You've been there for 2 years. You've only done well for what, 4 months because the World Cup happened in his first season. Just bye bye, you. Cut ties. Enough of all these experiments. These guys are 200K plus. It's not like they're on wages that's like allowing us. It's like even Havertz. I used to be one of the Havertz defenders, but when you really take a step back and think about it, it's about around 250K a week. 250K a week wage demands output on the
Mm,
regular, not caveats
Mm,
of performances. So all I want to see is Jesus do what you need to do this year. Him and Sterling, see you later. Go bye bye. Go and bring me Osimhen or Isaac. I don't think Gyökeres passed the eye test when he played against Arsenal, even though people would disagree. But for me, I watched Osimhen. Yes, there's some Nigerian bias, but how many times do you see those games when Arsenal is struggling? And we start doing cross and inshallah ball, crossing the ball into the box. I promise you, if that was VO9, he would at least get his big head onto at least three. So go and get a proper striker and go assign a left winger that's actually dynamic that could actually perform. All these experiments needs to stop. I can't think of one at the top of my head right now, but I'm sure as the pod progresses, the left wingers will come back to my mind.
Chairman, what do you think about that? Even going forward with what we just said about Jesus on the wings and even like potentially getting a striker and Olu has mentioned about gunmen. There aren't that many gunmen about,
yeah.
and we all know that Napoli have been tough. I mean, we see the supposed gunmen at PSG. When I see all those Colomwani guys, I just laugh. Man, every time
You know,
I see those guys coming on for France, for PSG, I'm like, are these guys taking a mick? Even Turam, bro. I'm like, when I look at Turam, I'm like, bro, you're coasting. But what do you think about that, chairman, though?
The only thing I would defend Turam, he's second top goal scorer this season in Serie A, so he's figured it out. But the rest, I agree with you,
Yeah,
bombs. Bombs.
yeah.
But
The
like
chairman,
Ollie
you say?
said, I'm tired of experiments. I'm tired of trying Gabby on the left, trying him up front. I generally think just get a striker, left winger. Gabby can go to Saudi. Martinelli can be on the bench. For left wing, I remember you mentioned Ademola Lookman, and seeing the way he's playing recently, I don't see why not. Would it cost an arm and a leg? Absolutely. But there's a league to win. If you want a league, you have to
Yeah,
spend
man. The Athletic said he's even available for 30 million. I should be ashamed as the Nigeria
30
Football Weekly
million.
podcast host that I did not remember to say Lookman, but that was who was in my mind. 30 million. Exactly
30,
that. Please go on.
30 million.
Yeah,
Who
3-0,
said
because he has
that?
2 years left.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
So we know
His
what we need to do
contract.
in January. Because Isak will cost a lot of money, but he will be perfect. Lookman and Isak, that's the league for me. Because Gabriel has been trying to find his position for like the past 5 years.
Bro, oh my
And
God.
we're not here to carry people saying, okay, you can find yourself. Don't worry, we're not that, as we some people say, the secure boyfriend. Don't worry, darling, like you can stay with me. It's okay, I'll be there for you all the time. No, like it's time to move on. It's time to actually push for big titles, push for the Champions League. Because last season was so evident, and this season is evident as well, especially the Fulham game, that if we had a presence of a number nine, not a player that's just playing in the number nine, or an out and out number nine, our problems are solved. Martinelli, I love Martinelli. However, I feel like it's just attachment. Oh, I just like him, but the way he plays, his head's down all the time, and I don't understand what happened to his confidence because it's so obvious that you're gonna put your head down, go on the outside, try cross it. Why don't you just try go on the inside or just cut back or just do something instead of just doing the same thing with your head down? And
I saw a clip. I saw a clip today. I saw a clip today just to push you on that Martinelli point that said that was showing on Insta about how he used to be very techy and free, just free flowing, and then as the time went on, he became like very structured, and they was arguing, trying to debate whether he had just reached who he is now, and this is now Arsenal being at this good level, he can't deliver anymore, or if he was turned into a robot because of the systematic way of playing.
I personally, for me, I feel like it's the left back because where Martinelli would cut in and go inside, I feel like now that's where our left back is. So he's forced to go on the outside. But because like when I look at clips from a couple of years ago when Tini was left back, Tini is not that player that would cut inside or be that inverted left back. Tini, seeing him play was amazing. Traditional left back, overlap, get the ball, cross it in. Whereas now, when Martinelli's, I guess, hugging the touchline, if he goes inside, there's our CDM that's going to be there, Moreno. There's whoever's playing left back that's going to be there, Timber. So I guess he'll be that place is a bit crowded, but then there are certain points where, as they say, use your head. You're not. Why will you shoot near post with your weak foot when you can just cross it in and then there's a chance for Saka, chance for Havertz. Then we're 1-0 up against Everton. Then everyone's happy. But no, you shoot, you don't score, and now the match ends 0-0. So it's decision making for Martinelli that annoys me, and I'm out of patience. We don't, like I said, we don't have time. There's a league to win. So if Lookman's there for 30 million, please come to my club.
It's a double-edged sword. I mean,
that level of decision making. Carry on.
No, Martinelli scored 15 goals in the Premier League, literally in our first title challenge season, 22-23.
Only with the stat. The stat.
That's true.
There is a part of me that thinks we still have to, questions have to be asked of Arteta and the attack. I'm not saying he should go. Like he's changed our lives a little bit in these periods. We know where we started from. Thankfully, at my age, I remember the Henry times. So I'm not starving like maybe younger fans who have never seen us even win anything. But we have to say which attacking player has Arteta improved apart from maybe Saka, even though the guard scored 15 Premier League goals 2 seasons ago. And then, yes, he's creating here or there to the point now he's even being taken off. we have to ask questions. I'm all for you being able to influence the game or the assist to the assist. But if your numbers are coming down, that's not a good sign. We're trying to get you to Kevin De Bruyne levels. So Martinelli, same thing. Is it a confidence issue? Is Arteta not putting him in the right positions? I like what Chairman said about the left back and overlapping because that creates space. I don't know how Arteta is trying to win the league, and he's clearly showing a bias for his right-hand channel where the cam is always on the right-hand side, and you leave your left winger isolated all the time. Martinelli deserves some cooking because, like you said, him looking down all the time, I don't get it. But we also have to admit that the amount of times that the manager leaves him isolated is a bit shocking. Maybe that's by design because they want him to be a cutback merchant like Sterling was at City. But we're not doing enough cutbacks, so getting into the right positions for that to be the case. So that's where they're causing problems. Also, having a very non-agile striker like Havertz, he's not able to stretch the defense. He can't even play off the last defender. I'm sorry, that guy is, I don't even know what to compare him. I like him, don't get me wrong, he has his moments, but he's so slow. I have a real serious pet peeve for strikers that cannot run. Like, what do you mean you're a striker? You made it to professional game and you cannot run. You want to play for
Mm.
Arsenal. Look at the government we had over the years. If you could not run, it means you were like a Van Persie with unbelievable tech, or Giroud, who was able to link up play in ways that a lot of strikers would never ever dream of being able to do. But someone like
Yeah,
Havertz, I mean, now 5 goals, 15 games, it's a little. So I think the manager has to get some of the blame, but Martinelli also has to look at himself because at the end of the day, shoot us on the pitch and use his common sense. Like Chairman said with that analysis of shooting on his left, he's weak foot. That's
yeah.
just brain dead, you know.
So quick one before we even go on to the fixtures of today and try and do our predictions before we come back in the evening. Um, how do you guys? Because as fans, right? We're here in today. Rashford out. By the way, we all know what's going on. I think we'll discuss that one more in depth in the evening when we have time because we all have things to do today, right? And the games are going on. City's playing right now, but how do you guys feel about the manager? At what point do you guys go, Arteta, okay, some of your decision making or your stubbornness is starting to affect you the way United fans saw with Ten Hag, the way we've seen with Jose a lot of times coming to the end of it's like we all knew that, listen, Ahmad was the guy. Anthony, yes, he worked, he tracks back, but he's a one-trick pony. You all knew it. You don't have to study football. We knew it, right? We knew that Rashford wouldn't track back. We've seen all the clips. We don't care about your personal life. We just knew that his tracking back would be very so. Are you injured? Are you not? We knew that Bruno was over spraying the ball, looking for that magic move. Yes, it's dope when it comes on, but it's not magic every day. We knew that Højlund wasn't getting, chances. All the forward players had more shots on target than him. We knew these facts and we present it to the manager. At least if you're a manager that doesn't even know what's going on, the media will tell you. These are your problems. We knew that the gap between the forward line and the midfield was too much. We knew all these things. So as you guys as Arsenal fans, at what point do you guys start to hold your manager accountable? Yes, he's brought you from A to B, and that buys you time for a period that, he's gotten us out of the dark ages. But now going forward, especially for me, you guys should have won the season Leicester won. You missed out on that. I feel like in those seasons where you should come through, just like now, whereby the City that have been breathing on your neck in the last 2 years that literally took 2 titles away from you, like the first season of not knowing that Arsenal's going to be a threat, to last season of Arsenal's a threat, how do we stop them? To City falling off, you look back and you go, should we have spent 70 mil on Osimhen? We would have this thing in the bag. But it's Liverpool that just did some tweaking before Klopp left that are flying high, and Chelsea, who arguably look like geniuses now, getting young players on 50 racks on 8-year deals, are there. Now you have the mileage in Arsenal, 2 years of trying to win the Prem, and players are a bit more tired. Uncle Partey is on his last legs, no contract renewal. Declan's mileage is coming in. Are you an 8? Are you a 6? Do we not score more goals when you're playing 6? All these questions, right? What time do you feel that the manager has to be accountable?
I feel like
Quick one. There's 7 minutes left. Just to let you know.
Okay.
Okay, okay, yeah.
the manager became accountable for me last season, April, when we lost 2-0 to Aston Villa at home, which lost us the title when he played Havertz in the midfield. From then, I've been like very picky about his lineups. And even recently when Odegaard was out, and I guess everyone wanted to see if Wanyeri could come in and see what he can do. And he didn't trust him. And then we went on a run where we just lost and drew every match. And even after the Everton game, like you look at our squad and you think, what investments have we actually made for the future? Because Sterling is not an investment for the future. It's just for this season. Gabriel was supposed to be, Jesus was supposed to be an investment for the future, but wasn't the right investment. Whereas Chelsea have invested for the future. That's why they've got people on death row contracts for 8 years, and they've got now they're reaping the rewards of having. No, honestly, that 8-year contracts, they're reaping the rewards of having such a massive squad that when they're playing in the
Conference League.
Yeah, the Conference League, not a single regular starter is playing, and they're getting results. So when I look at Arteta's decision making, especially this season now, I have been questioning it almost every match. And come the end of the season, if we have nothing to show for it, massive questions will be asked about his future. Because he's been in the job for 5 years. Yeah, you've won us the FA Cup. Love that. But that was Emery's squad. You came in.
Even the catalyst for the FA Cup, you shipped them out. If Birmingham did not play, we were not winning those FA Cups. I do think it's a two-way sword. Look, Chelsea, we'll see how they do next year, where they have to actually play serious teams in the Europa League or the Champions League. But fair play to them, they're doing what needs to be done. We'll take that along. Look, Arteta's accountable right now to himself. He's on the clock. No, but don't introduce me to a lifestyle you can't maintain. Now we've been introduced to this. No, real. Now we've been introduced to this title challenging 2 years in a row lifestyle. I'm sorry, it's time to deliver. Last 2 years, we accepted going out of the FA Cups and League Cups here and there because it's like, oh, we're going for the title. We watched how we performed against Bayern Munich when they were literally right there for the taking. People could say naivety is your first season back. But ultimately, the signs are there that the potential that you've shown us based on how you've coached this squad should be delivering Premier League titles or at least be getting close. It is on you to find the right missing piece, the cherry on the top. And ever since Granit Xhaka left, Arteta's been creating more problems for himself. If he signed a normal left center mid, Judge Ellie, we will not be here. But then you sign Havertz to play as a left center mid. All of a sudden, it doesn't work out. You then move your striker, move Havertz to striker, which means now you have two problems, left center mid and striker. And because your striker is not performing well, causes problems for your left winger because the striker is supposed to do what Odegaard's doing on the right, on the left. So it's literally like man-made problems. Now, that's the one thing that the jury's out, and we need to see some silverware this year. But on the other side, I will temper expectations and say, at the end of the day, Arsenal are 6 points behind Liverpool, despite all of this chat. Yes, they have one game in hand on us, but I'm sorry, we've only played, 16 games. There's literally 22 games to go.
It's December.
We will judge you at the end of the season based on where you end. In the Champions League, we're third. We're cruising. So when we still look at all these things objectively, we're in the League Cup semi-final, we're playing Newcastle. We'll play Man United in the Emirates in the FA Cup. So objectively, yes, we're seeing the underlying signs that's like scaring us a little bit, especially based on the insipid performances in the last two Premier League games. But let's be honest, guys. If that Saka goal against Fulham is called, is not offside.
Everyone's happy. Everyone's happy.
The tone is very, very different. And all of a sudden, you're 2 points behind. In fact, I'm sure if we beat Fulham, we would have beaten Everton. So these margins, let's just wait and see. But on the clock, like Chairman said, 5 years, we will revisit in May. And I'm sorry, brother, you cannot tell me non-negotiables and progress if we end up coming second or third again in the Prem with no silverware. Because Maresca has shown me that, with the right players, it looks like I can cook here or there. Enzo, that we were all cooking, 100 mil. Look at Enzo now. Look at Saicedo. Everyone's quiet. Almost not even that. So for me, the jury's out, but let's just take time, see how things go. I will
Brilliant.
start with today as well.
Brilliant. Let's do some quick predictions. Villa, Man City.
Ooh, is it Villa at home?
Yeah.
Yep.
1-1.
1-1. What about you, Olu?
I mean, my head says 1-1-2, but Pep can't be in the doldrums so long. I think they'll 2-1. They'll somehow sneakily
2-1.
get 2-1. Man City, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Chairman, Ipswich, Newcastle. Ipswich at home.
3-0 Newcastle.
Olu, what about you?
1-1 draw.
West Ham, Brighton. West Ham at home, Chairman.
2-2.
2-1 West Ham. 2-1.
Okay. Palace, Arsenal.
2-0 Arsenal.
You,
3-1
Olu?
Arsenal. 3-1 Arsenal.
All right.
I didn't know you were a United fan.
No, I'm a boyhood United fan, yeah, but my team, like my London team, bro, is West Ham. I'm an East Ender, bro.
Oh, fair enough. So when West Ham play United, how does that work?
Bro, I've even been to the games, bro. Like, whatever happens, happens. But like, boyhood United fan, I'm always gonna want United to win. That's just the truth. But if West Ham win, it's a good day in the East End, mate. Do you know what I mean? Check this out. Man U has been in the mud for the last 13 years, bro. Like, since Alex left, bro. I remember being in uni and just being like, yo, this is peak, man. Like in my life growing up, I'd never fallen asleep watching Man U play. When Louis van Gaal came, I was doing that. And I actually stopped watching football that year. I feel so embarrassed to say, but it was that bad. The only difference is we win stuff while being bad. I'm not saying other people don't win stuff. I'm just saying, you know, when we're bad, we win stuff. So
then is it all bad if you win stuff then? Because like you won, I remember you won Europa League, you won the FA Cup with Bengal, you won League Cup and Europa League with Mourinho, you won the FA Cup last season and the season before that, the Carabao Cup. So has it been all bad?
It's so from on a fan perspective, right? We all know that football is about, you know, I coach some young boys, right? And they were cracking some jokes yesterday. Football's about having fun. I said, no, that's what I told you, lot. You know what I'm saying? But football's about winning because they're Spurs fans, right? These young boys. And I was like, bro, I'll rinse you, bro. Spurs, get out of here. But so it's like from a fan perspective, it's good to go to Wembley. Even on an Arsenal perspective, Olu was saying something when I was DMing him 2 days ago when I posted something on the GWG page, that in all other leagues, they count their charity shield. It's only in England that we act like it's not a trophy, right? And I was like, he said that to me, and I was like, fair, because even in England, we're almost trying to discount the Carabao Cup. Like, it's the league. I was like, bro, why did you change the name to Carabao for some little piece? It's still a trophy, right? So as a fan, it's good to go to Wembley. It's good to have that. And even as a Hammers boy as well, bro, I saw us get relegated and promoted, bro. Spurs haven't even seen that, bro.
True.
Do you know what I mean? Vardy them lot won the league, won the FA Cup, got relegated, promoted. Man's got a medal on his neck, bro. Harry Kane don't have a team medal. We'll see you guys in the evening, okay?
See you soon.
All right, guys.
Thanks for coming on, boys.
I was stressing during the Arsenal match, but when we got that fourth goal, I let my hair down, as they say. I let my hair down. Arsenal's a funny team, you know. Like we could be 3-1 up and they'll be uncomfortable. I remember during the West Ham match, we were up, what was it, 5-2, and I still I wasn't sure. Even with this match, when we got the fourth goal, I could breathe a bit, but still, Palace played well. Like they controlled the ball well because they're at home, but I guess we took our chances. Jesus, I take back what I said. You can stay. You can stay.
Yeah, Jesus had everyone. You know, I mean, even Martinelli,
Havertz,
flipping Havertz. Everyone came back just saying, like, we heard your podcast. Yeah, all right, what about now?
Yeah, they heard what we had to say. So, I mean, Jesus should have had a hat trick, but I'm happy that Martinelli got to score. I'm happy Havertz scored, but you know, 3 points. That's all we needed. I don't care how we get 3 points now. Just give me 3 points. Gabriel Jesus, he worked really well. Got the 2 goals. Pressed the ball well, defended well. Him, and then if it wasn't him, I would give it to Martinelli. Martinelli had because Saka came off injured in like the 20th minute. So they brought on Trossard, and so Trossard played on the left, and then Martinelli played on the right. And Martinelli on the right was really good. I was just listening to the post-match analysis, and Paul Merson and not Jamie Carragher, Jamie Redknapp was saying that Martinelli was that good. Can Arsenal play him on the right now that Saka's out? And I think that's an option. We can play Martinelli on the right now because it's just something different. I feel like players are used to Martinelli on the left, like you know what you're going to get from him, but on the right, it's something different. So yeah, Jesus and Martinelli were outstanding today. It looks like a hamstring, so he'll be out for a couple of weeks. But I guess our next game, I believe, is it Ipswich at home, and they just lost 4-0. So I mean, I predicted
Did
three.
you? Yeah, you predicted 3 actually. Yeah,
And it's like got a hat trick, so hopefully that can tell the Arsenal higher ups that that's the player we need. But hey,
But Isak is also injury prone. So how does that work?
you pray, you pray because with Arsenal, we will buy players that never get injured. Partey, when we got him, never got injured. Then he's always injured. Declan Rice didn't get injured. Now he's nursing the injury. Calafiori, he just came back from an injury. Tomiyasu is been injured. So honestly, you just have to pray at this point because it's like we'll just get players and we'll just get injured. So I don't know.
Yeah. No, I heard that. One of the Jesus's goal was from the left hand side a bit, and then I just saw the highlights. Obviously, like I said, I started watching from the 60th minute.
Yeah.
What about Martinelli on the right, Jesus on the left? How is that something that you guys as fans are like looking into?
No.
Or would like to see?
For me, no, because Jesus has played well up front recently. So what, 2 games, 5 goals. Could have been 2 hat tricks against the same team. So I feel like it'll make more sense to play him through the middle. And then Havertz in the midfield, he was good today. He just adds like I guess extra presence because when we're attacking, we have Havertz and Jesus. Martin on the right, it's only because Saka just got injured. If Saka doesn't come off, no one's saying that. But because he had a really good game today and it seemed like it could work, I don't see why we don't try that. But I still feel like it will probably be next game, Martinelli on the right, Jesus in the middle, and then probably Trossard on the left. And depending if Rice is fully fit, Havertz will probably play in the midfield. If Rice is fit, then it'll just be Rice, Odegaard, and probably Partey.
With this Havertz in the midfield, does that only work against smaller teams?
I
know we worked at some point at the start of the season, I believe.
I wouldn't say
kind of.
Yeah, the start of the season, it looked like it wasn't working. And then because it wasn't working, that's why we moved him up front. So I wouldn't say it's like Havertz is the midfielder we need, but him playing up front is better. And I wouldn't call Palace away is always going to be a hard game. So I feel like when we need Havertz, he does step up in some games, not all the time, but I don't feel like Havertz midfield is what is going to work long term because we got a midfield, it didn't work, then we played him up front, and it hasn't fully worked. So now we have, I guess, in a way, 2 problems where we need to fill in that Xhaka role that was left, and we need an out-and-out striker. But right now, I guess it's just paper over the cracks. But I'm not going to be upset. We won the game. I'm happy.
Yeah. Let's breeze through a couple of the other fixtures today, as Olu can't join us now. So we got Villa actually beat Man City 2-1.
Yeah. Wow. I saw
how bad are City?
They deserve it. They deserve it. Like
facts.
Oh, I don't understand how they just keep losing because as their players say, we're serial winners. We know how to get through this and everything. But Villa away is not an easy game either. It's a hard game, but I didn't expect City to drop points. I mean, actually, no, I thought they would draw. I didn't think they would lose because in the back of your mind, you're just thinking Pep Guardiola, he can't just keep losing, but then he does. Then it's like, okay, how long is that gonna last for? Like how long are I don't know the City execs or the higher ups gonna be like, okay, we just keep losing, are we gonna stick with this manager? Because if it was Arteta, granted, yes, Pep Guardiola's won 6 Premier Leagues, but in the now, City are out of the title race, and that's not what they aim. That's not where they aim to be. So
Yeah.
do we start questioning their manager now? Like what do we do?
Nah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I don't think we can question him. I think it's more so like in like once the legs of a team goes, the mileage goes. That's it. And for me, the mistake City made was their recruitment over the last couple of seasons. They were getting away with it, like over the last 2-3 seasons. But because they had starters and they had, as Mourinho would say, football heritage, like players that they had bought before, so they could still like persevere and push through. But if we go back to the Calvin Phillips season that they won the treble, that Calvin Phillips didn't add nothing to them. Yeah. If we go back to Grealish, who did they get? Grealish that season, yeah. Grealish first season, he didn't do nothing like that. Second season, he had more of an impact.
Yeah.
And then his third season was also air again. Do you know what I mean? So when you look at the recruitment, and who else did they get? They got Nunes. Listen, mate, very average. You know, they let Cole Palmer go. That's the arrogance of like, hey, man, we've got the best academy. We can always bring players in. We've got players that and we don't want to stand in anybody's way. Boy, you got to stand in someone's way sometimes, man. Fergie told Wayne Rooney, you're going nowhere. You are going nowhere. You've got to stand in someone's way sometimes.
You made a good point.
Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
Cole Palmer is who they need.
Yeah. You made a good point about you made a good point about their what Mourinho said a couple years ago about their investments from the past. I feel like their investments of the past are now the past. De Bruyne is aged. Sterling's not there anymore. Because I remember he mentioned Otamendi. He's not there anymore.
Gone.
Jesus isn't there anymore.
Jesus, Sterling.
Mahrez is not there anymore. Aguero's Silva is not there anymore. So
even Alvarez left. He said Manchester's too rainy.
Yeah. The only the best investment of recent was Rodri. But then is light and day when Rodri plays and Rodri doesn't. So with that, I guess City are just facing the consequences of their poor investment. I don't feel like Grealish has ever been that good, personally, for me. I've never really been a massive Grealish fan. Foden, I guess last season, he was good, but I still feel like he's bang average sometimes, or when they need him, like clutch moments. Haaland, I'm very shocked about. I'm surprised he just stopped scoring. Someone said on Twitter, or X, what's the name? Gundogan. It's like Gundogan is an example why you should never go back to your ex. Come back to his ex, and it's just not working out. Who else? John Stone's investment from the past. A bit of injury. He's been injury prone and hasn't been playing the best. Kyle Walker's aged as well. Yes, these are also winners, but you can't win forever. Your time will come. I guess their time's come now, and it's coming. It's coming in abundance, man.
In abundance, Ten Hag said it. Eras come to an end. If there's one thing he said, it was that.
Eras do come to an end. His one came earlier, but I'm just happy for City's downfall. I'm here for it. Like I'm
here for it, bro. I am here for it in HD, like fully. You know, let's look at some of the other scores. Obviously we said Newcastle, Ipswich. You were right. You said 3-0. Arsenal Palace 5-1. Nottingham Forest Brentford. That was a 2-0 win.
Yeah, that was. I believe that's the first time Brentford have lost at home this season, and Forest are in the top 4. So that's a big result for them.
And they're a big club, so I'm happy for them. Like for those who don't know, like Forest was
Yeah.
big back in the day. You know, I believe they have two Champions Leagues, I
Two
think.
Champions League,
So yeah, so they're a big club, man. You know, they put respect on their name. And then obviously West Ham, Brighton, Lopetegui out still, man. That guy is just hanging on week in, week out, man. Like, bro.
I know Kudo scored, so I guess that's good for Ghanaians. I hope they're happy. But I don't watch West Ham unless they play Arsenal. But I do know a couple of West Ham fans, and they are not happy.
I was watching Filthy Fellas pod because I'm a big fan of their pod. The other Scorcher was like, "Yo," he said that Ange Postecoglou is the worst manager in the league. That if Ange went to that Wolves team that Lopetegui saved from relegation, that Ange would have gotten them relegated. Do you believe that? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, because they will be 1-0 up with 10 minutes to go, and instead of sitting back, they will be on the offensive, and then they'll just get beat on the counter. Like I don't understand the way Tottenham play. It confuses me so much because how are you in a position where you are 3-0 up and you lose control of the game? And they've done it like multiple times this season. They did it against Chelsea. They did it against Brighton. It makes no sense. Hold your lead. Like as soon as you're 3-0 up, then they get one back and it's 3-1. Okay, let's actually sit back and get control of the game. Nah, mate, we're gonna play the same way as who we are. Why? Like for the neutral, yeah, it's good, but imagine being a Spurs fan. I would hate it. Oh my gosh.
In the words of Conte, is the history of the Tottenham.
It is the history.
It's the history of the Tottenham. Moving on to tomorrow, we've got United, Bournemouth, we got Fulham, Southampton, Leicester, Wolves, and of course Super Sunday's finest, Tottenham, Liverpool at 4:30. What are you looking forward to tomorrow's game? Like obviously, prediction wise, United, Bournemouth. We expect Bournemouth to. I think we're gonna draw, but what do you think?
If it's Bournemouth are a weird team, and I believe Bournemouth have got a couple of results against you recently, so I do think it'll be a draw. So especially with everything that's going on, even with like Rashford and like selections and everything, I do think there's been loads of distractions at United that have been off field. So
yeah. What about Fulham, Southampton? What do you say? Fulham playing at home as well?
Oh yeah, that's Fulham all day. Southampton they haven't had a good season. They have not had a good season.
Yeah, they're cooked. And then Leicester City, Wolves.
New
manager bounce.
That's a weird one. I think that's a draw. I
say a Leicester win.
Yeah. Leicester not that good either. That's the thing.
But, no. Their defense is shaky. You're right, but and Wolves they have a good attack with Cunha and whatnot. But I'm just hoping Rude can put together something and cheekily get like a 2 or 3-1 win.
Yeah,
because Wolves are bad right now.
Yeah, honestly,
they're bad right now. And lastly, Tottenham, Liverpool.
I think Tottenham win. Tottenham win. Tottenham live for these games where they're the underdogs and no one expects them to do well, and then they do amazing. Like they showed it away from home against City, but they beat them 4-0. I know Anfield is a scary place to go to sometimes, but like I guess the positive side of the way Tottenham play is they play with no fear. So they don't care what happens. They don't care if you attack us when you have the ball. We'll attack you back. So Tottenham play fearlessly, but it's a double-edged sword. So that game is just who can outscore who. If Tottenham outscore Liverpool, obviously they'll win, but I don't see Liverpool coming out winning that match just the way Tottenham play. Will frustrate Liverpool.
Yeah. That's a fair result, especially if Maddison and Kulusevski are on form. You know, I do feel like Liverpool. Well, to be honest, Liverpool have been kind of getting is it Endo back in play. I kind of feel like they're trying to rest Gravenberch for this game and whatnot. So I have a feeling that they've been looking forward to this game and trying to rotate players to be sort of ready and fit. But I do agree with you. I do think Spurs, they look forward to these type of games. And then they're playing Nottingham Forest on Boxing Day, so I expect them to lose that one. Spurs, that's what they do.
They'll beat Liverpool.
The big games.
They will beat Liverpool. They'll lose against Forest. That is so Spursy.
Spurs. Oh, mate. Okay, that's brilliant. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Chairman, for being on the
It's been a
Goal Win
pleasure.
Games podcast.